going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coach's Corner, man. It's been a while saying that. I know. I apologize. I'll explain a little bit later. At the end of the video, basically. I don't want to wait too long. I want to jump right into this. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to watch it, play through, and I'm going to analyze this from an aspect of when I played it back in North Carolina a few months back. That way I can explain to you guys what's new, what's not new, the changes that have been made. That way you get kind of like a first-hand account of everything that has been done to the game. And I'll just kind of talk over things as it goes on. I'll stop, pause, all that good stuff. So let's just hop right into it.
Let's take a look at one of boxing's pound-for-pound stars for the...
Okay, so first off, hey, I'm going to turn this down a little. But first off, this is all like new here. Like all of this is new. So when we played, you would go to character select, you would pick your character. Once it started, you'd be right in the middle of the ring and it'd be time to fight. So Terence walking around here in the corner like this, all brand new.
First time ever in ESBC. That's right, I'm talking about 3-division world champion Terence Crawford.
He's bouncing
what will you be up against when you see him standing across the other side of the ring? Let's find out. You always feel like you have a chance at first against Terence Crawford. He is...
So as you can see, like who's playing here immediately started the fight already in the loose footwork. So you obviously it's something that you have to switch into manually. You don't start out that way, but they are already moving in loose footwork. And right here where I just paused it, man, just look at, I talked about expressions and people looking kind of like emotionless. I've said that quite a bit. And you can see right here already, even in him just really kind of like making a movement. He's probably about to throw a jab here. These little tails, like you could see the intent, you know what I'm saying? Which is phenomenal. The fact that you can already see what his intentions are simply by the look on his face, you know.
They slow
and there goes the jab, right? Ooh, that little noise. You hear that? That's the exhale. We didn't have that type of stuff. All right, we didn't have that when we played the game. So that's dope to see like these little small updates and these small little intricacies, man, that they're making, you know, as this game like develops. That's pretty dope to see.
Gives away the early rounds typically, but that's because he is downloading the blueprint to win the fight. Always has that great footwork. Gets in and out of danger so effortlessly. He's always good at controlling the distance and the pace, and he's always showing you different looks. Switches seamlessly.
So right there. So that was something that I kind of have I kind of had an issue just looking at that, right?
Seamlessly
he eats the jab
from
here.
southpaw to orthodox and back. And one of his best assets, ring IQ.
So let me go back a little bit further. He eats a jab here from Kell Brook, and he just seems like unbothered and kind of like, you know, unfazed by it. And I don't know.
Pace, and he's always showing you different looks. Switches
right there. Like you did see his head move, right? That doesn't mean his head needs to like snap back every time he gets hit, but it did kind of just seem like it just didn't really register almost. I don't think there's a hit registration issue with the game. I don't know. I don't know. Let me keep going. I don't want to judge
southpaw
too
to orthodox and back. And one of his best assets, ring IQ. He can outsmart you, and just like that, he can crack you when you least expect it. And now Terence Crawford beginning to pick up the pace and intensity, starting to land at
this camera angle. I would probably never ever use this camera angle ever. And I wouldn't be too bothered by the camera angle. This almost looks like a cinema mode or like a theater mode, because what you don't see is any of those like body outlines. You don't see their health, any of that type of stuff. So my guess is that this is like a theater mode where they pre-recorded everything and then went back and like moved the camera, changed the camera angles, things like that. Which would be dope, because that means that we could record our fights, go back, analyze them, look at what we did wrong, look at what we did right, which is, as a coach, like you couldn't really ask for a whole lot more than that. Especially since you could change the angles and see it from various points of view. So I do believe that that's dope, but that would also mean that this is probably choreography that's going on here. which is great. And I love the fact that SCI slowed down the action and they didn't give us the typical bar brawl like we was getting before. Something again I asked for, and here we go. You really don't want to see that. It just looks messy. It's not a real good display of the game. Something else that I noticed is they're not like super glossy. They do look bone dry though. These guys don't look like they warmed up in the back like at all. So I think that's kind of something that might need to get right. And I'm gonna go back here and look at it. And just from this perspective here, I'll be honest with you, Terence Crawford looks not just dry. The brother look ashy, man. Like he just like I love the fact that it's not like they're covered in oil like they looked like before. And I've heard people say that they kind of look like action figures, which I don't completely disagree with before. I like that they toned that down. Let's for example, let's take Caldwell's head here. We can get a little bit of this onto here. Let's not overdo it, obviously. But his head looks a lot less dry than Terence Crawford look. He looks bone dry. Look at him, brother. Look ashy as hell, yo. So I think maybe we could get and look, maybe over time the sweat builds up and this starts to go away. So again, I don't want to judge too harshly too soon, but they do look dry. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't warm up at all in the back. I do like the fact that there's so many people around here in the ring, man. We didn't see this type of stuff when we played the game. I mean, like I said before, the action just started right in the middle of the ring. All these people weren't here. Kenny Bayless was in the ring, obviously, but he just wasn't involved. And from what I've seen so far, this still doesn't look like he's really involved at all. He's not floating. He's not inside the ropes. His eyeballs aren't like outside of his body. So it looks like some of the bugs that we had before have been taken care of. And you can clearly see that this is a far more cleaned up version than what we played during the event. All right. Like this looks better. Before, these guys would have been like here somewhere, like actually in the floor. And every round they would have been getting closer and closer to the middle. So it looks like they've done a great deal of updating and bug fixing and things like that. And that makes me honestly feel like we're getting very close to that early access window. Man, this might be really like right around the corner.
You always feel like you have a chance.
Let me go ahead and get this back real quick. Where were we at? About 54, I think that's where I looked at. We'll stop right here.
And now Terence Crawford beginning to pick up the pace and intensity, starting to land at will now. And once he gets his opponents in the corner, they very rarely get out unscathed. And he's the master at the catch.
So I do want to look at that combo there, just to kind of see if this was. I just want to put a critical eye on the combo.
In the corner,
right? So
they
left
very
jab,
rarely get out.
Right hook, double left to the body, right hand
unscathed.
And what you see here is literally no retaliation from Kel.
And once he gets his opponents in,
and it's not a situation, all right, unless they've changed something, this is not a situation where Kell Brook is under like hit stun. And let me explain that really quick. So for anybody who don't really or not really into fighting games, and maybe I'll play a fighting game on stream and just kind of break some of this stuff down. For anybody who don't really play fighting games or anything like that, typically what you have is what's called hit stun. All right. Once you get hit, you're in a specific stun window, right? It's when you get into frames and understanding frame advantage versus your disadvantages, it helps you to understand A, what combos are going to land, B, and really what's important is when it's your turn to actually attack back. All right. That type of stuff helps you to stop blocking and understand when it's your turn. It also helps you to understand when the opponent is applying what we consider fake pressure, right? It doesn't seem to be that situation with this. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that ESBC has to follow a fighting game layout with those types of things. I'm just pointing what's there and what isn't, okay? Um, with that being said, though, that honestly means if there is no hit stun, Kell Brook can literally throw a punch whenever he wants to. All right. And with that being said, I think it's always going to look maybe a little bit funny when you have someone you have full momentum on someone and you're beating, and then all of a sudden they just clock you. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't require really anticipation. It just means that you could throw a punch. Now, caution would still be necessary because you could get countered if you just decide to hit a button, and you can get one of those flashes, you know. But again, something to kind of think about. All right, just throwing out some fighting game knowledge and stuff out there, things to kind of like think about.
The corner, they very rarely get out unscathed, and he's the master at the.
Here's another thing, right? Well, no, I'll wait. He's leaning here, right? But if you notice, his feet are pretty much like planted to the ground. When they're in their high guards, can they move their feet? That's really what I want to see.
Catch and shoot, and when he gets.
Like here, he's blocking, but the thing is, and this is something that is traditional to like fight night, is that when you are guarding, like these guys aren't moving their feet, like they're not walking with their guard. The minute they go to lean, or really not really when they're guarding, but really when they go to move their head and their upper body, they can't move their feet. Their feet are just planted into the ground. But let's say we had somebody like Mike Tyson in the game, all right. Not saying that he is, but if he was, Tyson was good at moving forward while moving his head back and forth. That does not seem like something that you're capable of doing in this game, which means that as long as you want to move your head in any manner, you can't move your feet.
Those hands going, they look like a blur. When Crawford has your timing down, you're like a sitting duck.
Good counter left there. And then he just goes ballistic.
Timing down, you're like a sitting duck.
You know, like he just goes in. Like you almost wonder, like as you're watching this, yes, they're skipping pieces. What read did Terence Crawford have that told him that he could just let his hands fly that way? You know, is that something that's even necessary? You know what I'm saying? Or are we looking at a situation where you have people who are fighting who have combos in their head and they just said, look, when I get the opportunity, I'm gonna hit square, square, triangle, and then some other stuff. You know what I mean? So again, just something to think about.
Look at him just working it. Arguably the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and there he starts exchanging again. He never stays in the pocket too long.
Right? These mid-range fights, nothing really seems set up. It just, like, there's no baiting. There's no, I'm going to draw something out of you simply so I can counter. There's no, a lot of those things. It just is, it's still kind of a situation where once we're in mid-range, we just begin to swing. You know what I'm saying? But again, I wasn't there when this fight happened. So there's no telling what the reads were as the fight was going on. And again, this could, as I stated before, just simply be choreography, which means that we probably need to transition out of the choreography thing and let's get a real fight, man. Let's see two people, you know, let's get Sonny, like I said before, and I think in my last video, I said, let's get Sonny Edwards and say a content creator and let's get a couple of rounds and let's watch a high level fight, man. Let's see someone get a jab baited and get countered. Let's see a really good body shot, yo, that off of, you know, off of a counter or you know, some, I feel like it still just needs a little bit more. Like the technicality still doesn't necessarily seem there, but I'm glad that this fight is slowed down a lot and we're starting to see things. But I want to see some real high level IQ. Good there. Now, everything I was saying, he's at range. He hits the slip there. It was, you know, wrong punch. That looked like he threw Gaddy looked like he from the angle, looked like a right hook like to the body, and he slipped here.
The only man.
So definitely a bad read from, Crawford. And then he threw the right hand. Like if he had thrown a right hook and then he ducked that and then came back with the right hand, that would have been different. That would have been great. We would have known, like, that was an absolute hard read, and he punished Gaddy for it. You know what I'm saying? I will say this too. What I'm noticing here, blood. I can see some blood here on the gloves. That's all new. We did not get any of that.
Stop Sean Porter. Now all those shots are starting to take a toll.
See, he gets caught there because he's in mid combination, right? He's just throwing, and he
shots are starting to take a toll on.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness.
Stop Sean Porter.
Now that was good.
Now all those shots are starting.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. And as you can see, going back to the conversation that I had earlier about hit stun, all right? When he gets caught with this counter,
now all those shots are starting to
boom, he cannot return fire. Okay? He is now in what you call hit stun. Okay? Which means that Gaddy should be able to get a follow-up here. All right? Without having to worry about being retaliated against, depending on what the frame advantage is and how much time it takes for Gaddy in game to throw a right hand or another jab or a power jab or a power right. He should be able to get off another punch here basically for free. All right. Which you would think that it will put Terence Crawford on his back. He should think about defense here. If he immediately starts throwing another punch again, this guy's not thinking about defense at all. He just wants to punch. Right? But that jab, oh man, the step around and the range, like all of that, shots very good. Boom, very good, very good. I love what I saw right there.
A toll on you. We're beginning.
And he goes right back in. But again, Gaddy didn't take advantage of the opportunity that he had. This is look, everything that I'm talking about right now is what is going to happen when this game comes out. This is the type of eye that people are going to have on this game at a competitive level. It's things like this that people are going to be looking for. And that's why I'm talking about them now.
To deteriorate.
Ooh, blood on the ground here. Blood on the glove. None of that stuff we saw when we got a chance to play the game before. So this is all pretty new, at least in our build. We didn't see any of that. What I didn't see, though, was for the amount of blood that's out here, I do not see that type of damage on Arturo Gaddy's face. Maybe from a different angle. And I'll say no. So we definitely need to upscale the damage here. I know I talked about Terence Crawford looking dry and ashy. Looks like he's starting to warm up. So good on him there.
When he smells blood, he's 38-0 with 29 knockouts.
This has definitely got to be a theater mode here.
Especially if you stay on the ropes. What a big...
Good little shift there. He came in with a little Euro step.
Especially if you stay on the ropes.
Which that is, again, man, you're talking about this loose footwork and action. Little bit of head movement there. How well that works as far as can you use those weight shifts to dodge punches, things like that. I think that'll be high, very, very, very high level use of the loose footwork, man. And it's going to be, look, somebody's going to figure it out, and it's going to be a great thing to watch later on once this game releases.
What a big right. And then
hand,
he's going
sweat
crazy.
everywhere.
He's letting his hands go. And you got
body shot right underneath the elbow there. Great placement.
Crazy. He's letting his hands go. And
boom. Look at it. Great placement. What you don't see, though, I mean, obviously, he's leaning the opposite direction, so you're not really going to see too much of that, like, impact. I would have liked to see a little bit, but fast action, you're probably not going to see that in game. No way, so we're only catching it now because I'm slowing it down.
No shot. You're in too deep, and it's all over. Terence
down.
Crawford finds
left hand. That looked like it caught him around the glove. Now, I'll tell you, the physics in this game from first-hand experience are amazing because you will see where every glove comes in contact, every punch comes in contact with something, and you'll see where if they have their hands up, the gloves literally will kind of like rub off, or they'll kind of like go around. They're like the the physics system that they have come up with for this game are almost unlike anything that I've seen. I haven't seen anything like it, man. The way that it works is just phenomenal. But you see this punch here, bloody glove. Is this glove the only one that ever gets blood on it? Seems like his right hand stays covered in blood, but these guys would never look like they taking any damage. That was missed. Crawford. Hold on. Let's see if he actually landed that around the glove. Boom. Right off the top of the head, yo. That, again, since we know that this game actually has specific areas where you can be hit and be targeted and things like that, the fact that he hit him that high on the head probably should have wrapped him.
Finds another victim right here on ESBC.
Now, I will say, everybody falling out that way, I mean, every knockdown is not a complete KO knockout. So I think some different like animations and things like that are probably necessary. I know when we played the game, body shots were amazing things to watch because you would actually see the person like grab the area and then like crumple as they slowly like went down. So I think some different animations going down, especially, you know, if this is his first knockdown, potentially, he shouldn't go down that way. You know, obviously we know every knockdown is not a knockout. So I think maybe some changes to that would be great.
Well, we're out of time and I'm out of.
Look at the sweat. Look at the look. Praise to SCI for this because dude, the way Terence Crawford's model looks. Now, I initially thought while we were there that Terence Crawford had the best model of everyone. And I'll be real with you, I actually think this is an upgrade to what we saw then. This looks man, this looks really good. He looks a little dead in the face. All right. Like the eyes up in the, there we go. All right. He's back.
You have what it takes to beat Bud Crawford? Find out on eSports Boxing Club.
Dude, so I'll tell you, man, for what we got, I really, really like it. There were definitely a lot of upgrades from what we saw, a lot of bug fixes. The animations look good. The overall graphics even look better. They toned down the oil, all right? They took the baby oil off of people and they gave people natural sweat, which is a huge plus. I've heard people say, man, that they kind of look like action figures before, so that looks a lot better. They did look bone dry coming into the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like fighters do warm up, so I think we kind of like need to work that out a little bit. I would like to see, and I know a lot of the community has said this, and I do agree. I would like to see a solid round or two, with two people who really know what they're doing, and like an official fight. I'm grateful for the choreography and slowing it down. I'm definitely grateful for that because that was needed. Now we just need to see a real straight up fight so that community get a sense of what they're actually getting into when they get their hands on this game. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a real display, you know? But yeah, man, I mean, I pointed a lot of things out, talked about a lot, brought some stuff up, you know, the hit stun, things like that, man. Y'all let me know specifically on that topic. I'm big on fight momentum, okay? Like, fight momentum is huge. It's so necessary because understanding your turn, understanding when you have control over the fight and gaining momentum and maintaining momentum, understanding how to do all of that, man, like, dude, that is what is really going to make this game good. If they can nail down the momentum of a fight, oh my God, this is going to be absolutely next level. I'm not 100% seeing that yet, not yet. But that's not to say with the current setup that it's not possible. All right. There is a lot of trade situations that you see in this, a lot more than what you would see in a real boxing match. All right. And I think that is kind of my biggest highlight. So y'all guys, let me know, man, what y'all think. Again, I apologize for the enormous gap in between videos. I'm selling my house right now, so this might honestly be the last time y'all see me recording in this area, man. I am closing on a new house. I'm in the process. I'm close. I'm literally like a week away from selling this one. And I mean, which means obviously I'm moving. So I'm getting a new area. I'm gonna make it up really, really nice, man. Like I'm gonna get really YouTube official with the next one. But yeah, man, life hit me like a brick, dude. And just you have no idea. So I had to put my content creating thing kind of on the back burner. So I do apologize, but life happened, and I had to take care of life, and myself on top of that. And I'll explain that a little bit deeper sometime later on. But again, for what we got with Terence Crawford on the screen in motion for the first time for you guys, man, I'm excited to see. I'm excited the fact that y'all got to see this. You know what I'm saying? I've been sitting on seeing Terence for a while now, and I'm glad that you guys got to see Terence Crawford in motion. Man, I'm still blown away by this game, man. I can't wait till it comes out. But you guys let me know what y'all got. Put some questions down there, man. I would love to do another video, man. Hope maybe before I get out of here, just kind of answering questions for you guys, man. Again, from somewhat of a firsthand perspective back when we played the game and seeing the new things here. But that's all I got for y'all, man. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.